Macdougall, and I'm a sculptor. I always made things. I worked for a carpenter, and I was kind of interested in design, or a field that allowed you to make things and design things and think about how they function in the world. And then I went to an art school and really had one wonderful mentor who was a sculptor, and was really attracted to that as a career because sculpture is something that you can relate to almost anything. It's not like a car. It doesn't need to go forward and backwards. So there's a lot of freedom in making sculpture, and I think that's something I was attracted to. The way I like to think about making sculpture is trying to take the technical process and almost pay attention to it, but allow it to be kind of like perspiration when you go running. You don't think about the sweat coming off you as you're exercising. When you're working on a page, making a drawing, you use a pencil to make the lines. I'll use a welding machine to do that. Welding can be a very technical practice if you're putting together a bridge or a steam pipe, but for artwork, it's more about the aesthetic of that line and how it looks. The sculptures that I make are mostly I call them landscape chapters, because it's an object that takes the experience of things that one encounters in a landscape, maybe a type of rock, or the shape of a hill, or a crack in the sidewalk. It takes those kind of experiences or that kind of visual language and compresses it into an object. And I like taking these kind of landscape organic elements that I kind of see in the scenery of my life and combine it with the type of scenery that's from the kind of vernacular of buildings or scaffolding or architectural parts. I think it's a lot about time and patience and having a couple things going on at once, and then thinking about them in contrast to each other. They usually aren't very good if it works out to the initial idea. Right now we're in my studio, which plays two roles. So I have half of the space is used for creating the kind of landscape chapter objects that I make, and then the other half we use to help other artists create their work and fabricate projects for mostly artists, some furniture designers, sometimes architects. Up in the Berkshires, there's Herman Melville's house, and you can see the desk where he wrote Moby Dick, and there's one window that looks out, and the Berkshire mountains are kind of in the distance, and when you look at them, they look like a whale. It has this shape of kind of a whale's back. So I think that people's environments do form, they do play a role in your thoughts and how you relate to stuff. This building is like a Quonset hut structures. It's a dome. A lot of the sculptures that I've been making for the last 3 years have a kind of Duomo quality to them, and then it's also ribbed and paneled like the inside of a ship, and a lot of the fabricated work is created in a similar way. There's an art market, there's an art world, there's a museum world, there's many different art worlds, but in terms of being an artist, the most important thing I think is staying true to yourself and your own heart and your own intentions, and try not to question yourself too much. In terms of my own sculpture, I just hope to keep making it and being able to change as life changes, because that's a really fun challenge.